I am so tired of this. Every time I walk past first class, I see these massive, empty recliners. And yet, the airline app wanted $800 just to move me up a few rows. Does anyone actually get those mythical free upgrades anymore? Or is it just the internet selling me a fantasy?
It is incredibly rare to get a truly free upgrade just by dressing nicely or smiling at the gate agent. Those are outdated myths from the 1980s. But there is a massive difference between what the airline algorithm wants to charge you and the actual internal protocols gate agents follow when they desperately need to balance the weight of the aircraft or handle a complex overbooking situation. Let us pull back the curtain on how their internal systems actually function, because there is a very specific 48-hour window where the computer drops the price drastically. Shall we begin?
Wait, a 48-hour window? I always thought you had to ask at the desk right before boarding.
By the time you reach the gate, the automated system has usually already processed the elite status waitlist. However, exactly 24 to 48 hours before departure, airlines run what is called a sweep. Unsold business class seats that elite members did not claim are suddenly released for cash buy-ups. The algorithm is programmed to squeeze whatever revenue it can. A seat that cost $1,000 yesterday might suddenly appear in your app for $150. If you are checking your reservation directly on the airline's application at the exact 24-hour mark, you will often catch these heavily discounted cash upgrades before anyone else.
Okay, so I just docked the app exactly 24 hours before? That seems too easy. But what if the flight is just completely oversold in economy and they literally do not have a seat for me back there?
That leads to an operational procedure called an operational upgrade, or op-up. Airlines deliberately oversell the main cabin, knowing, statistically, that a certain percentage of people will miss their connection. But when everyone actually shows up, they have a math problem. They legally cannot board more people than they have seats for in that cabin. Instead of denying boarding and paying massive Department of Transportation federal compensation, which can be up to $1,550, the system automatically forces passengers from economy into the empty premium seats.
Wait, so being on an oversold flight is actually a good thing? How do I make sure I am the one they move forward instead of some random guy in row 30?
The system prioritizes passengers based on status and fare class. But if you have zero elite status, your secret weapon is traveling alone. Operational upgrades are almost always distributed to solo travelers first. The gate agent simply does not have the time or the authority to split up a family of 4 just to move them to business class. If you book a single ticket, you are the easiest puzzle piece to move. But there is another secret involving your physical aircraft that almost nobody tracks, and it triggers automatic seat reshuffling.
Physical aircraft? You mean like if the plane breaks and they bring in a different one?
Exactly. It is called an equipment swap. Let us say your flight was scheduled on a Boeing 737 with 12 first-class seats. At the last minute, due to maintenance, the airline swaps in a Boeing 757 with 24 first-class seats. Suddenly, there are 12 empty premium seats. The automated system usually does not instantly process upgrades for an equipment swap. If you use an application like FlightAware to track your specific tail number, and you notice the aircraft type suddenly changed to a larger variant, immediately approach the gate agent. Polite, informed passengers who point to the newly available inventory often jump the line because you saved the agent the hassle of figuring it out themselves.
I never even thought to track the actual plane itself. But what if I have an economy ticket that I bought on a huge discount? Does the kind of ticket I bought matter?
It matters immensely. Every airline ticket has a fare class, usually represented by a single letter. Basic economy might be an E or an X. Full fare economy could be a Y or a B. When the computer needs to break a tie for an upgrade between two passengers with the exact same frequent flyer status, it always looks at the fare class. The passenger who paid slightly more for a standard economy ticket will always beat the passenger who booked basic economy. Never book basic economy if you harbor any hopes of an operational upgrade. But what happens when the airline literally begs for volunteers to take a later flight?
Oh, I hate when they do that. They offer like $200 in vouchers, and it feels like a total scam.
It is only a scam if you accept their first lowball offer. Under federal law, there is no cap on what an airline can offer a voluntary bump. When they announce they are overbooked and need volunteers, do not just accept the meager voucher. Approach the agent and negotiate firmly but politely. Tell them you will gladly take the flight the next morning, but you require a direct booking into first class on that new flight, plus a confirmed hotel voucher. Gate agents have massive discretionary power in these moments. The computer gives them a budget, but it also allows them to override seat inventory to prevent a mandatory denied boarding situation. If you solve their headache, they will gladly put you up front on the next plane.
So I can actually negotiate with them? I thought everything was just locked in their computer system.
While much is automated, there are physical anomalies the computer cannot predict. The broken seat loophole is a prime example. Federal Aviation Administration terminology calls these inoperative items. If your economy seat has a broken seatbelt, it is illegal for you to sit there during takeoff. If the seat is reclined and stuck, or the tray table is shattered, they cannot legally use that seat. If the economy cabin is full and your seat is designated as inoperative, the flight attendants must move you. If the only open seats are in business class, that is exactly where you will end up. Always inspect your seat immediately upon boarding.
Okay, but what if they just fix it with tape or call maintenance? They usually try to delay the flight to fix things.
They will not delay a multi-million-dollar aircraft just to fix a single tray table. But there is one final, incredibly powerful dynamic to understand: the deadheading crew. Federal aviation regulations require pilots to receive adequate rest. When an airline flies a pilot as a passenger to reposition them for their next shift, union contracts legally mandate they're given a minimum standard of comfort, which is almost always a first-class seat. If you are sitting in the assigned first-class seat that a deadheading pilot needs, the airline will downgrade you. However, to compensate you for the involuntary downgrade, Department of Transportation rules dictate they must refund the fare difference. Savvy travelers actively monitor route networks where mass repositioning happens, heavily discounting their net flight cost when downgraded.
So sometimes getting kicked out of first class is actually a massive financial win?
Precisely. Understanding the heavy legal mechanics behind how airlines must operate transforms you from a powerless passenger into a tactician. You are no longer subject to their whims. You are utilizing their own operational weaknesses.